Stadt aussuchen müsste, dann sollte die Stadt groß genug sein, um grundlegende Bedürfnisse zu decken.
Eine Stadt muss gute Infrastruktur bieten.
Eine Stadt muss offen sein, freundliche Menschen haben, schön sein natürlich auch.
Es ist wichtig, dass nicht nur eine große Stadt ist, sondern man kann eine Identität finden.
Als ich das erste Mal nach Jena kam, wir waren nur für ein Wochenende und ich habe damals schon gesagt, ja, hier könnte ich leben.
Damals hatte ich ein Praktikum und die Zeit in Jena hat mir sehr gut gefallen.
Ich bin Wolf, ich bin Systementwickler und Projektleiter und die Arbeit, die wir machen, ist ausschließlich im Team möglich. Ich bin sofort prima aufgenommen worden und es hat schon damit angefangen, dass mich die Firma unterstützt hat, als ich hierher gekommen bin.
Ich heiße Ling und ich arbeite als Regulatory Affairs Managerin und als ich hier angefangen habe, haben meine Kollegen mich mit ganz offenem Herz aufgenommen.
Ich bin Nadine und mache meine Ausbildung zur Kauffrau für Büromanagement. Wir arbeiten hier viel im Team. Kommunikation steht ganz oben auf der Liste. Hierarchien folgen wir hier eher nicht so. Das macht das Arbeitsumfeld sehr angenehm.
Ich bin Rosario Amendola und ich arbeite hier in Jena als Intensivpfleger. Ich mag meine Arbeit, weil bekomme ich sehr viel zurück und das ist sehr wichtig, dass ein gutes Team auf meiner Seite ist und das habe ich hier gefunden.
Ich weiß es gar nicht, was das wirklich genau war, aber ich bin hier angekommen und das war einfach toll.
Jena ist keine Metropolstadt, aber sehr lebendig.
Jena ist eine super offene, sympathische, freundliche Stadt und das Umfeld ist einfach auch super schön hier.
Jena ist nicht so groß, nicht so klein und ist eine deutliche junge Stadt.
Ich würde Jena weiterempfehlen, weil man sehr gut Fuß fassen kann. Es einem leicht gemacht wird, auch hier eine Familie zu gründen.
Man kann die Erfahrungen und die Kulturen erleben und das macht eine offene Mentalität.
In Jena gibt alles, was man so für das tägliche Leben braucht.
In Jena kann man das Leben sehr vielfältig gestalten.
Ich habe irgendwie gefühlt, die Stadt, die funktioniert.
Länger, weiter, schneller? Dann brauchst du mehr. Länger, weiter, schneller? Dann brauchst du mich.
Immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
Wir wissen im Leistungssport, dass das Leben neben der Haupttätigkeit sehr, sehr wichtig ist und sehr viel Einfluss auch auf die Haupttätigkeit nimmt. Als ich mein Abitur abgelegt habe, war ich ganz klar in einer Phase, wo ich gesagt habe, ich muss hier weg, die Welt sehen, ich muss eventuell auswandern, ganz verrückte Ideen. Heute weiß ich, dass ich ein totaler Homecoming-Mensch bin und ich würde definitiv nicht mehr auf die Idee kommen, woanders wirklich leben zu wollen. Für mich definiert sich der Begriff Heimat dadurch, dass ich in Jena geboren wurde, der Sportler wurde, der ich heute bin. Ich habe hier meine Familie und ein sehr gesetteltes Umfeld. Und Lebensqualität ist für mich ein sehr wichtiger Punkt, einer, der mich auch immer wieder in Jena gehalten hat und auch hält. Und ich sehe Entwicklung in Jena und das gefällt mir sehr, sehr gut, was ich da sehe.
In den Bergen geht es nicht darum, was wir erleben. Es geht darum, mit wem wir es erleben. Auf die Brüder, wahre Freundinnen, Töchter und Mütter. Auf die, die vorangehen, deren Taten größer als ihre Worte sind. Auf euch. Danke, dass ihr immer da seid.
Seit 17 Jahren Deutschlands beste Krankenkasse. Und auch in Zukunft gilt, immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
We didn't need big budgets, big gyms, a big crowd, big news to become a big sport.
safe to go back in now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just doing our job, madam. Just doing our job.
Hello and welcome back to this Techniker Boulder Bundes Liga final today. We are in Jena in the center of Germany and we have a big show ahead of us tonight. So right now we are at the start of the League 1 final. This is the big one. In the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga, there are 3 leagues, the third, second and first, and these are all according to the ability and skill level of the competitors. So right from the bottom, our third league is the very, very beginners, and then it gets harder and harder as you go up. I am your host tonight, Danaan Markey, and I am joined by the brilliant Emma Norrington, a local route setter. And Emma, you've played a part so far in the route setting of this competition, haven't you?
Well, not in the finals, but I did help with the qualification setting, which we did on Friday, all day Friday, putting together, I think there were 45 boulders in the end. That's what all of the competitors did earlier today, to try and make it into the finals. Each league had about 10 boulders, so each competitor had up to 10 boulders to try and complete. And the best of those made it here tonight for us to watch on the final boulders that the other setters have spent 2 days putting together for you. There's some brilliant moves in there. I'm really excited to see.
We are excited to see, and here is a quick look onto the mats. So our setting team is fast at work getting these boulders up on the wall, making sure all of the official scoring zone bonus top, the signposting that is required for a competition like this, making sure they are all officially up there and in the right place. It's quite a high-risk job, but they're doing it, and once they are finished we will have a competition underway. But in the meantime, we have a woman on the mats. Our presenter Juliana is here to tell us some things.
Ich weiß auf jeden Fall, dass über dem Zelt alles voll saß. Das weiß ich. Aber wenn es komplett die Eisweichen erhöhen, dann würde ich sagen, wir hätten es ja mehr.
Final this year, the final of the League 1 is about to start in a few minutes, and we are in the isolation area where the athletes prepare, warm up, and as you can see, pretty busy here. Little wall for warm up, but the athletes also use the stage for their warm up. As you can see here, Jan Hoyer and Helene Wolf warming up on the stage. And we want to show you something, because these athletes are going to experience now to go up the stage here and to be welcomed by the crowd here in Jena, and what it feels like for an athlete to do that, I'm going to show you now. So this is our stage in the competition wall, and this is the audience. And on stage we have Christian. He's our speaker here on stage. And I hope he will make this crowd scream a little for us here on the live stream. So now you will see what it's like. Yeah, Christian is just introducing us. Well, we are introducing him, and this is the crowd. So now you see, this is the crowd here in Jena, really enthusiastic people, and they are looking forward to seeing the athletes of the first Liga. And you saw really cool athletes are going to be here. Jan Hoyer, Helene Wolf, we have just seen. And the route setters are still adjusting a little bit the boulders. So I guess they will need some few more minutes. And yeah, I hope you're excited to see what's going on here in a few minutes when they're ready.
And we are back in the studio. Again, things are getting ready for the finals. And something you may notice, this is the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga, but we are speaking in English right now. And there has been some reasons for that. Emma Norrington now is going to help explain the situation.
Yeah, the last years, since 2016, when the first Techniker Boulder Bundesliga started, it's been done in German. Of course, it's been in Germany, in gyms in Germany, but this year, the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga really wants to reach out to a broader international audience, to encourage more people from overseas to come and participate, to bring a little bit of international spice into the comp. So hopefully this can encourage other people, perhaps some of you that are watching tonight, to maybe enter and consider joining. And you'll see tonight we have a few competitors from overseas as well, from Ukraine, for example. So we're really excited to welcome all of our international guests in today. And yeah, we apologize, it's not going to be in German tonight, but hopefully you can follow along. And we hope you enjoy it.
We do hope you enjoy it. So again, as we mentioned, if we get a quick look at the mats outside, the route setters are still hard at work getting the final touches to these boulders. And it is not just put it up and go. The route setters, they need to do a bit of tweaking sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the main route setters' job, actually, especially on the finale or the final day. Of course, we had the qualification boulders earlier today, and so the route setters had the chance to see how the competitors performed on these boulders. Were some of them a little bit too easy? Were some of the moves way too hard? And so this helps them, I guess, adjust the final boulders to make sure that, yeah, they're just the right level of difficulty, that we can get a nice split, a couple of tops maybe, but still challenging the competitors. So yeah, it's taking a little bit longer than expected, so that we can get those tweaks in and hopefully get those boulders to a really high standard for you guys tonight. They've been working really hard the last couple of days. Yeah, 2 full-on days on Thursday and Friday to design and test all of these boulders for both the second and first league.
And that is one of the crucial words there, test. The route setters have to make sure that all of the moves in these climbs are possible, so they do have to attempt them themselves. Now, they don't always do it, but they for sure know whether or not it will be possible. And you can see them right there, they're still going after all of that they've been through so far.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge process, and they also have to take down all the boulders from the previous second league that we just watched. So yeah, it's a really long process, and sorry that it's a little bit delayed, but hopefully you can hang in there with us. On the testing, actually, we were talking to some of the route setters earlier, and actually for the Boulder Bundesliga this year, they decided to hire actually a professional tester, Stefan, to join them during the setting process. Of course, if the route setters have to build everything and test, it can be extremely strenuous, so it's great to be able to bring in some fresh skin, some fresh muscles to give the boulders a last test to make sure that they're hitting the right note of difficulty. So shout out to Stefan for testing the boulders. He's also behind one of the cameras tonight.
I really have to ask if there's any other sports in the business where they say, let's get some fresh skin.
Yeah, probably not.
That's a good one to think about. So if you're there watching at home, in the comments, please tell us what other sport that someone needs to go get some fresh skin, because climbing's holding top place right now.
Definitely, I'm feeling it. After the long day yesterday, 100%.
Low on the skin. Something we are all dealing with, but it does look like final touches, a bit of showboating from our master of ceremonies on the mats. But we've talked a lot about the route setters. Emma, can you tell me a bit about what the competitors have been through to get to this place? There was the semis before, but the Bundesliga, one of the biggest competitions I've heard about ever.
Yeah, the Bundesliga is one of the biggest in Germany for sure. The Bundesliga has actually 11 stations. So there's 11 different gyms throughout the year that the competitors can go to and compete on a series of boulders. Each league has about 15 boulders allocated to the league at that particular station, and I think you have up to 6 weeks to complete those boulders. So yeah, I'm getting a nod from the side. It is 6 weeks, so you can go and visit whenever you like. You can go back multiple times to try and complete these boulders, and the goal is essentially to get as many tops as you can. More tops equals more points, and in doing so, you work your way up the leaderboard, make it hopefully to the top 100 in the leaderboard, and then you can get invited into the finale, and that's what we're witnessing today. So these top 100 competitors from each league were invited to Plan B in Jena to do the qualification boulders this morning, and from that, the competitors, the best competitors, have been invited into the finale. So we're going to witness the 6 top competitors now tonight.
There we are, we're so close to the end, just a little bit further to go, and you can see this is such a massive season. We do have the advertisement up for it there on the left. You can actually register now for next year, so be aware this competition is for you. It's for all levels. You can get involved, and in the meantime, why don't we see a quick recap of the qualifiers that happened earlier today. That was some scenes from the local boulder gym here in Jena that was hosting the semi-finals today. And that is your local gym, isn't it, Emma?
It is indeed. Yeah, Plan B Jena is where I started route setting. I've been climbing there since I came to Germany, which was about 3 years ago. I'm actually originally from Australia. So yeah, I love Plan B Jena. It's a really nice community there, and it was so cool to be a part of the route setting process for the qualies. There are a lot of really cool boulders, lots of jumpy stuff, and actually having had a look at the boulders tonight, I think we might be seeing a little bit of a replay.
Some jumpy styles. That is the modern competition style. Some could argue that the setters just can't keep up with the athletes in terms of strength anymore, and so they're coming up with new moves and new crazy things to do in order to throw them off, and that is what this competition is all about, trying to make them fall off the wall. And so while we're waiting, you can see the officials having a quick look at the boulders there. We've got our results from the semi-finals back up on the screen now, and this is the order that our climbers will be chosen to come out in tonight. The order going out is going to be reverse of where they qualified. So up at the top of the list there, you can see Thomas Nab and Daria Nesterenko, both of which qualifying in first place means that they get to come out last tonight. Some say that's good, some say that's bad. What's your feelings?
I don't know. I think having fresh boulders coming out first before everyone's had a chance to scrub them up with rubber and chalk is maybe an advantage. Maybe standing behind the curtain is building up the nerves. I'm not sure. I haven't been in the position, to be honest, so hard to tell.
Yep, definitely hard to tell, but I do know a lot of athletes, and most of them say they count the seconds until the crowd cheers and they try to figure out whether or not that's a flash and what's going on. But once you're out on the boulder, you have to give it your all, no matter what. No matter what.
Absolutely. And tonight we also have two wild card competitors joining us today. You might have heard of them, Jan Hoyer and Helena Wolf. And they competed in the Deutschland Cup, which was a new aspect of the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga this year. Which was a series of super finals at a few of the stations, which enabled them to gain some points, and the winner of this Deutschland Cup was given a wild card to come and compete in the qualifiers today, and these two competed well enough in the qualifiers that they were able to make it in fact in second place, into the finals. So we're really excited to see how they stack up to the rest of the also very strong field.
And that is one of the signals that you can use to try judge the level of this field right now. One name obviously jumping out to everyone's minds, Jan Hoyer, was in fact in the Olympics in 2021 in Tokyo. So
yeah, pretty impressive. I have not seen him climb before in person, so I mean, technically this is still a screen, but I'm excited to be here nonetheless. So I'm warming up, doing a couple of one arms casually for the warm-up.
It's the warm-up, of course, yes. The bouldering is much, much harder. Always an interesting topic to try explain how difficult a World Cup level boulder is in just general exercises.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with this new school style of movement where there's so much more complexity that comes into it, rather than it just being about grabbing a tiny hold or a really slopey hold, for example. And we were actually having a little observation period before on some of these final boulders and commented both that a lot of the holds actually looked pretty good, and that I think some of the setting has come down to complexity and tweaking these boulders into engaging a little bit of dynamic movement or some really off-balance committing moves. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the competitors engage on those boulders.
Yeah, definitely this very new school style we have on the wall, and soon enough we will get to see people on those boulders, but it's going to be a bit of an exciting show. Here we have a little sneak peek into what we call the isolation zone. Athletes are preparing. Obviously there's no strict rules at this point because the competition has not officially started, but they are all kept in this area behind the wall so that they cannot see the boulders, and that is very important that they don't see the boulders. Do you want to explain a bit about why you shouldn't see a boulder before trying a comp?
Yeah, well, in the format that we're doing this time, which is actually a little bit different to how the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga has operated in the past, we're going to be operating in an IFSC format where each competitor will come out individually and individually be given 4 minutes to try and complete the boulder. And once their 4 minutes is over, regardless of if they top or not, they're going to have to leave and go back into isolation, and the next competitor will come out. So in this format, they're not going to see what the other competitors have done. They're going to have no idea what the beta is that they have used, which adds definitely a lot of trickiness into figuring out how to actually solve the problem, which is part of climbing that I really like. In the past years, however, the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga has worked in a slightly different format so that each competitor will come out, try the boulder once, the next competitor will come and also try, so on and so forth until they're all out, and then be given a set amount of time. I'm actually not sure exactly how much time, but essentially to try and solve the boulder together, which is also a really cool format to, I guess, have a little bit of teamwork, to try and, you can actually like talk to each other and try and solve it together, in fact. So it'll be interesting to see how they can adjust to this new, more World Cup style. I'm interested to see whether or not this will be more difficult for the competitors or easier. Perhaps too many cooks in the kitchen is a bad thing.
Well, we can predict and speculate as much as we want, but we won't know at all until they come out on the mats. And we will try our best to try get a quick estimation of how long it's going to be before this competition starts tonight. That is our head judge in the center. If you were tuning in for the League One finals, you saw an excellent interview with him by our woman on the mats, Juliana. And you can see route setters now very, very final touches. Only a little bit left to go before we're ready to start. In the meantime, let's watch a couple of ads from our sponsors here tonight.
Länger, weiter, schneller? Dann brauchst du mich.
Immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
In den Bergen geht es nicht darum, was wir erleben. Es geht darum, mit wem wir es erleben. Auf die Brüder, wahre Freundinnen, Töchter und Mütter. Auf die vorangehen, deren Taten größer als ihre Worte sind. Auf euch. Danke, dass ihr immer da seid.
We didn't need big budgets, big gyms, a big crowd, big news to become a big sport.
Safe to go back in now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just doing our job, madam. Just doing our job.
And we are back and things are getting underway. If you have been with us a while already, you will see that the stage looks quite different now. It looks like the boulders are set. You can see our route setters making one last run over. But in the meantime, the massive team that it took to put all of this together, the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga, are up on the stage getting an applause. You can see our list of sponsors below. But yeah, massive effort by everyone to get this going.
Absolutely, that is a huge team of people. Definitely a big event to put on, and a lot of volunteers giving their time to help make this awesome event happen. And of course the crowd for being here, providing their support.
And it is still bright out, but the sun is starting to set on Jena. The crowd, though, is only getting bigger as everyone comes to see this big final. There we go, a good look at the crowd really filling up around the front of the stage. And that is Jakob, one of the Boulder-Bundesliga, Techniker Boulder Bundesliga organizers on the mic, handing out flowers. A big thanks to all the people that put a lot of work into this show tonight. Big show from Jakob there, getting the crowd hyped. And now it's a new team, the Brushers. Best people in the whole show. Wouldn't happen if it weren't for the Brushers.
Oh yeah, maybe the most important too.
Yeah, it's athletes after that, but Brushers, can't do without them.
You cannot underestimate good brushes. There is a technique to it, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody can be a brusher. You really got to get in there.
Was there brushing qualifiers before this event?
Good question. Very good question.
I think it is widely known that the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga has the highest quality brushing in the world, and most other big climbing events are only trying their best to catch up with the quality of brushing that goes on. Here you can see out on the mats, look at that. That is top level brushing, composed. Everyone is into their job. They really love what they do.
Oh yeah, I think you have to. I remember there was a time during COVID when some of the competitions were still taking place. I think in the World Cups you weren't allowed to actually... you weren't allowed to have brushes. You had to actually do the brushing yourself. Yeah. I think some rule like this to avoid the contamination. That was a scary time.
It was a
dark, the competitors had to brush themselves.
Nobody liked it. Everyone knew. I trained for climbing, not brushing, and it was really a detriment to the entire competition. But we all had our crutches to bear during coronavirus.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
But thankfully, the climbing world has recovered. It's got its top level brushers back on the mat. Spotlight following this brusher.
Star of the show. Star of the show now.
Finishes his job of getting the boulders finally ready. There is a bit of chalk and rubber on these boulders because the route setters have had to test them in the past. Brushers making sure they are of the top quality for our top level climbers that are coming out tonight. And here they are. This is our first athlete coming out on the mats tonight. Mia Scheller. Just to her right, Jasmin Schröder. Olivia Kistmacher and Charlotte Scheifer following suit. And then we have Helene Wolf and Daria Nestorenko. That is our female lineup of this League 1 Techniker Boulder Bundesliga tonight. They have come out in reverse order of qualifications, and now we have the men getting out on the mats. First out there, Tobias Weber, and then behind him Philip Donachev, Frederick Schäfer, Kay Fudish, Jan Hoyer there, standing tall. And finally, the first place qualifier tonight at this Techniker Boulder Bundesliga League 1 final, Thomas Knapp on the right. That's our finalists. Take a good look at them. And now, the first part of the competition tonight, inspecting the boulders. So run me through what goes on when the athletes are checking out the boulders here.
Yeah, definitely one of the crucial parts of a bouldering competition. When the boulderers are given a little viewing period beforehand to talk together, to have a look at the boulder and discuss what the beta might be. They're also allowed to touch the start holds, just the start holds, which are indicated by the tape here. Nothing else. Yeah, and I guess imagine and figure out what might be the solution.
And it's one of the interesting parts of the competition where bonds are made and broken. Sometimes people share beta, sometimes they don't. Tonight we do have multiple nationalities, multiple languages, so it will be maybe a little bit, it won't be just German up on the mats there talking through the beta, but you can see our Ukrainian athlete Daria right in the middle of everyone having a bit of a chat. So seems like the betas still could be shared. The betas is not the official plural of beta, I don't believe.
That is a good question. Is it betai potentially?
Betai. I would go to assume it's the same rule as fish, where multiple of one fish is fish, but multiple different species of fish is fishes.
So multiple beta.
Multiple boulders
is beta.
Betas.
Betas.
So if it's beta on one boulder, it's beta. If it's beta on multiple boulders, it's betas.
And what if it's multiple betas on one boulder?
That's beta.
That's beta.
That's one species of fish.
Okay. Okay, so let's see if they're discussing, I guess, beta on the one boulder. And yeah, moving on to the second boulder now. All the male boulders are on the left side of the stage and the women on the right side, so that they can climb simultaneously. And we'll get to watch all two competitors at a time.
Now this second men's boulder, the thing to note is there is a lot of holds. There is a lot going on. You can see a line of handholds, but then there's another significant line of footholds. And what we're pretty sure is there's a good reason that the route setters put them there.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a really technical boulder. Looks like the route setters intended a very specific solution to this. So it'll be interesting to see if the competitors can unlock that and figure that out together. Yeah, definitely looked a tricky one to figure out, I would say. I'm interested to see if they come out and nail it straight away or have to take a bit of time to figure out the solution.
It's an intellectual problem, which is always an interesting aspect of the sport. Despite all the strong athletes you see out there on the mats, climbing is notoriously known as a very analytical and problem-solving sport, even given by the very fact the boulders are called problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally really love boulders when they aren't necessarily clear immediately. They do have to kind of use a little bit of your problem-solving skills to figure out what the solution is. I think they're always the boulders that stick with me the most, that I remember years back, or yeah, because you really had to put so much effort into trying to understand what to do.
Yeah, finding out that secret. And the interesting part of climbing as a sport in general is we have such different and intricate variations in the field of play, and the other thing is everyone's body's quite different, so quite often you see people coming up with very different solutions to the same climb.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably one of the trickiest parts of the route setting process, to make sure that it, or to try and at least reduce the fact that it could potentially be cheated. And of course, Jan Hoyer here, being the tallest of the male competitors, significantly taller than the shorter, it'll be interesting to see if he can find some beta breaks.
Jan Hoyer, quite well known, quite famous or notorious, however you might say it, for being able to break the beta in climbs. He is larger athlete, and often larger athletes, they have to compensate in other ways. It's much harder to develop power when you're so large. But Jan Hoyer, he does it. He has the power. He is one of the strongest people at one time in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. He is one of the strongest, but he's also one of the most creative. Often, as you said, finding beta breaks and being able to not just rely on his power, but actually take full advantage of it and think beyond that. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he utilizes that tonight.
Very, very interesting to see. And here we have a look at women's boulder number 3. You can see they are allowed to touch the start hold, but no holds after that. And Helene now doing the beta dance for going up through these holds in this section. Something we don't see in the camera right now is that the top of this boulder is no giveaway whatsoever.
Absolutely not. It looks like a bit of a tricky, potentially manta situation. I'm not sure. Also pretty interested on that one for the start to see how they unlock it. I think there might be potentially more than one solution, so I'm not going to give anything away just yet, but definitely excited to see how it plays out.
Yep, and that is our athletes off the mats, and the elite level brushers back on once more to make sure that our boulders are at the very pristine condition. You can see a scoreboard on the left there. Obviously no scores yet up on that board, but what you can tell from it is the order that our athletes are going to come out in. And the top of each list, we have in the Women's League 1, Mia Scheller, only 17 years old. So, not that old, and very important to remember, this is the League 1. So
yeah, absolutely. We had in the second league earlier competitors as young as 12 competing and doing pretty well, I would say. So, exciting to see what only a few years difference can make, potentially making it to finals in the first league.
Well, I do believe that we might have another competitor tonight who is also 12. And it's very hard to tell ourselves that we're in League 1. Now we literally have an Olympian in this competition. So this will be very cool to see. And on the left side of the screen, Tobias Weber getting ready for the first jump of men's 1 and almost through, getting that hand up but not quite sticking that second hold.
Yeah, straight into it. He really committed to that move straight away. Didn't quite manage to stick it, but definitely felt the holds properly.
They're very deep in the swing, probably wants to maintain the lock a little bit higher. And here Mia now trying to figure out this first crux section of women's boulder number 1.
Yeah, both a little bit dynamic straight off the blocks, so not saving anything here for the competitors, getting straight into it.
There we go, both our athletes taking a second to compose before trying again. Tobias really getting a good look at the holds. And Mia Scheller is off. She makes it through this first crux. Now, very small hold to match on, not what you want to have to be doing in that position. So maybe she can make the match, or maybe she's going to try look at another method.
Yeah, not sure if that was the intended beta on this one, but definitely super impressive to make that first foot stomp work.
Really, really impressive, and a lot more boulder to go. On the left we saw Tobias have another go at men's number 1. Didn't quite get the momentum to move up, and again you can see almost there but not quite getting that kick up to the next hold.
I feel like he looked like he got a little bit higher on his first attempt, actually, where he was like super fresh, had a lot of power to give, and honestly that pull back when you get that first hold now, looks so hard. And every time he's doing that, he's losing a little bit of power. And of course, with only 4 minutes, you don't have enough time to really recover.
Not enough time, and again, exactly what you mentioned there, that pullback. The force that goes through your arms when you jump into this hold and try to pull off of it to go up to the next. Very, very hard to generate.
Oh, almost making it work there.
Doing a really good job. You can see that point. Oh, we have Mia now, having made it through that crux. She's got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. So let's see, will she maintain the composure and get through to the end? One move away from the zone. There we go. Zone is in her hand. Just dragging on that left-hand hold. Not quite enough to go round the lock-off. The sparks were ready there for her, but she didn't make it to the end.
Oh, sadly not, but damn was she holding on.
That was a great pull-through.
Oh, and much higher for Tobias that time as well. Almost making that move work.
Almost. Really, you can tell the amount of hang time he is getting on that first hold. So the first jump is looking pretty good, but it's a very, very hard pull you got to do while essentially flying through the air to try and grab the next hold.
Almost trying to stop that time on the first hold, actually.
Yeah, it looks like he might give that a go. Mia now. Back through. She knew what she was doing. She only has 3 seconds left. Looks like it's not enough to get to the top, but what a fantastic effort from this athlete.
Yeah, she made some great adjustments during that round. I think every attempt she kind of learned something a little bit, figured it out, and made the changes that needed to be made. Slowly working closer, and just unfortunately not enough time in the 4 minutes to get it done.
Kept building. No doubt if she had a bit more time, I believe she would have done the climb, but that is the whole sport. It's about who can climb it quickly.
Oh, absolutely. I think all these competitors are capable of doing these climbs if they had unlimited time. It's just very hard in the 4 minutes.
In the 4 minutes, and after the massive semi-finals that everyone went through this morning as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Filip Donchev on the left, another international athlete tonight from Bulgaria. Saw him there going up with both hands at the same time. And on the right, Yasmin Schroeder looking quite comfortable through the first section. And let's see, one move away from the zone. There we go, the zone is in her hand. This is where Mia Schelle came off before. How's Yasmin going to fare on these last couple of moves before the top?
Stopping to rest there, almost shaking her arm out a little bit.
There we go, finds that second last hold. The feet now very precarious. It's not a giveaway to get to the top. Finding some tension on that right wall. Got to throw over that right foot. How's Yasmin going to do? Finds the top, and that is a flash for Yasmin Schroeder.
Awesome start to her competition here tonight. And some amazing route reading on that. That's a really complex boulder.
That was
and every move was perfect.
Fantastic effort there from Yasmin, getting it done first try, no problems. But we still have one athlete on the mats. That is Filip Donchev from Bulgaria. There he goes. He sticks that first swing into the next hole, but we do have a second crux in this boulder. Very far foot reach. Looks like he's taking a second to figure things out. Hanging below. Needs to keep that left foot strong. See it shaking. There we go. Foot match. Deeper foot. He can push more into the corner. Now you can tell the hold is not facing upwards. Filip Donchev getting the foot high. Finds the foothold on the right, but doesn't like it. Going for the technical knee. Doesn't like that either. Filip Donchev, he's got 1 minute and 20 seconds left, but he's right at the top. How is he going to get through the second hand? Doesn't get it through.
Oh my gosh.
That was an awful lot of effort from Filip Donchev.
He was shaking there at the end, like you could see his arm.
The shoulder press, you're pushing up, pushing against all the force driving from your legs. It's extremely tiring. And he will be on the mats thinking, how am I going to do all that again?
Yeah, that's a really, really tricky one. The route setters were telling us earlier that the foot on the right that he was trying to use, the small one, you actually can't see it from up the top there, so you are completely blind trying to find this thing. You don't know how big it is, you can't really feel it.
Filip Donchev now, 30 seconds left, but he has made the first crux, and then flying through the beta that he figured out before. Let's see. Rocking over, getting ready, no energy. Failure of the system.
Such a shame. Wow, he was so close there.
And that is our first two athletes out, or second two athletes, apologies, on the first boulder of tonight in this League 1 of the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga final here in Jena. You can see the scores now. So, top from Yasmin and Filip Donchev. Looks like there is a green tick beside his top of the boulder, which we may dispute, so we might see this scorecard get updated, because it did not look like he made a top of that last boulder.
Yeah, that'll be interesting if they award that to him. I mean, he went and gave it another attempt afterwards as well, so...
Yeah. But on the mats right now, on the right, we have Yasmin Schroeder. Yasmin Schroeder, that is our last athlete out. Olivia Kustmacher on the right. And on the left, Frederik Schäfer. Whoa, big swing from Frederik, just about sticks the landing.
Yeah, it doesn't quite look comfortable on that first hold to be able to pull off it at all really just yet.
It is one of those strange holds where your right foot is so far to your right, but you're pulling quite far to the left, so you have to be confident to release quite early.
Yeah, kind of working against yourself in a way.
Go getting closer, but you can see not quite getting the same stick as the last two athletes on that boulder. Olivia Kustmacher now. There we go. Looks like she's got through that first boulder. Look at that backwards heel she threw right up there.
Such a nice bit of technique there to make that work. Looked really stable too.
And still looking quite stable. Olivia Kustmacher now on the second last hold. Very tenuous foot. We saw Yasmin Schroeder have a lot of trouble here. Olivia now again hesitant, matching on that right. Looks like she wants to figure out the feet, but she just goes.
Just goes for it.
Nearly dynamically. Quick match on the right, and then let's just go to the top quickly.
Just gotta commit.
There we go. She's found herself a top on that boulder. Certainly will be happy about it. But on the left side of the wall, we still have Frederik Schäfer. That is top from Olivia, turning around, smiling at the crowd. Something to be aware of. This is our 12-year-old athlete out tonight with the League 1 finalists.
So impressive. So incredible.
And she's done her first boulder. She will be quite happy with that.
Yeah, she's definitely giving the other girls, women, a run for their money. That is for sure.
So, Frederik Schäfer Still on men's number one. He's got 40 seconds left. Does not look like he's getting along well with this first move.
Oh, almost manages to hold on to that.
Almost manages to hold, but there's a lot in holding that hold.
Pinching that has to be super. I mean, that's dual text on the other side there, so. Yeah. Whoa,
and
one-handed.
He's interested in this sticking the first hold beta. 10 seconds left, so he'll be going for a zone right now.
Oh!
Nearly sticks
My
it.
goodness.
You see that point when he turns around and looks at the mats. It's actually never good when you're climbing if you look at the ground. It means you're probably coming off.
Yeah, you've kind of committed to the landing spot, haven't you?
So, there we go. Frederick Schaefer is gone from the mats. It looks like we still have a top from Filip Donachev, so maybe we did miss something before.
Yeah, maybe he did get it. Maybe they awarded it to him. Oh, Kai there on the left, almost making that stick work.
This is Kai Fudig. He is from Jena. He is a local, so there will be a very excited crowd cheering him on tonight. And on the right, Charlotte Schaefer, making quick work of women's number one. Right up to the final crux. Everyone has had a bit of trouble here, but every athlete that got to this position did finish it. And so does Charlotte. There we go. Another flash on women's boulder number one. But on men's boulder number one, local hero Kai Fudig gets on for his next attempt.
So close. I'm definitely rooting for Kai. He's one of my fellow route setters at Plan B, you know.
Gotta root for your own. Made the swing look very smooth. Look at that. Very comfortable up to that first hold. Making that second slap out though, which we didn't see from Philip.
Definitely really comfortable with these kind of moves, I would say. Definitely seen him on a couple of these sort of backwards, I don't know what you would call this move, like a backwards swing diner, some kind.
There's so many different names for these, the paddles, the generations. It is trying it as a triple paddle, although the move has been done before as a double paddle.
Yeah, I think the route setters was saying the intended beta, or the easiest solution, is to actually stop at the zone and not go to the third one there. The first hold you're going to is significantly larger, so you can kind of, I guess the idea is you can kind of like push against it really hard and like compress the two hands together a little bit. But Kai's still, trying to go straight through to the third.
Oh. Now you can see there was a bit of hesitation. Maybe not intentional, it did look like he was looking up, but he did stick this for a second. So let's keep a keen eye on this next attempt, because Kai may now have thoughts to try something new.
Yeah, it looked like it kind of worked, like he wanted to continue and then kind of realized it felt really good.
Kai, during the crowd, cheer him on. Loses his glasses.
Oh my gosh.
This is something I have never seen in my years of a comp, and I don't know what the ruling is there, but Kai's not wasting any time.
Gotta see where he's going at least. Come on, Kai.
There we go. Sticks the first move, has his own.
Strong.
40 seconds left.
Trying to find a heel.
Realistically, one good attempt on this.
Yeah, definitely can't fall now. There will not be time for a second attempt.
Kai matching this poor sloper. We saw Philip get to the same position. Rocking over on the left. It's getting up there. 19 seconds left. Plenty of time. He has one hand on the top pole, but we know this match is no giveaway. Looking for the blind right toe. Right on the edge of it. Is it enough for Kai to make a match? Not confident on that foot. Goes to try it again. Goes to try the higher. Goes to try the knee. And Kai is off.
Oh, so close.
This is a heartbreaker of a boulder.
Absolutely. Oh, that toe looks so hard to commit to. He's on it, you know, but just doesn't like the feeling.
Here we go. Looking at this position, you can see that left hand has absolutely nothing to pull down on, and then he puts the right foot up. It's completely blind. He cannot see round the hole that his hand is on to put this right toe on. And here we have on the mats both of our wild cards tonight. Jan Hoyer on the left, already through the entire of men's number one, and then looking for a far away right foot, doesn't quite find it, loses the tension. Helena now at the last move of women's number one, and she's got a top.
That looks super easy for her.
Quick work for Helena. Both getting a flash on boulder number one, but both two female athletes so far have made a flash on boulder number one, so the scoring is then done to count back the position they qualified in semi-finals. Now back to Jan Hoyer. He walked up the start. Will he do it again? Yes, he will.
Such a nice use of the swing. You can see he kind of stops for a second and then takes the extra flick through with the hips.
Looking for the far right foot. Can he make it work? He's identified that the close foot is not great. Loses the tension there. Jan Hoyer, 2 minutes, 25 seconds still.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to figure it out, that's for sure. And certainly no problems on the first half, but the last move there looks particularly difficult for him, being a larger climber. Having to really open the hips up and sit down into that position to get comfortable underneath the top hold.
You can see he identified immediately this further foot that he was hoping to use to match the top. Hasn't made it work. Went to try the closer foothold. Things fell apart. Now he's going on for his third attempt. Let's see what he chooses to do this time.
I want to see him get the foothold on the big hold far away.
Jan Hoyer is right there at the top.
Oh,
really struggling to fit into that box.
Absolutely. Definitely really hard for him to turn his feet around, especially on those tiny feet holds. That's really hard to put the pressure in, particularly when you're a bigger human.
So that is a theme in climbing. You've got small box and big box. They are different for different morphologies, quite certainly.
Absolutely, and really hard to set to make it fair for all.
There we go. Jan now makes a mistake on this first move, something he'd done so easily the previous times potentially, but shaken up and tired after the very strenuous finish. But he will want to make a top on this boulder. He's so close already. Cruising through, straight to the top now. Which method is he going to go for?
Oh, wants to use the big hold. Trying to pinch that end hold instead of the undercling.
You can see he's just looking to the left with that big frame. He needs to keep himself as close into the corner as he can, so he just can't even look at where he's putting the foot.
Yeah, there's not even any room to move the head, really. So bunched in there.
And that was his final attempt. Got an easy flash of the zone, so in first place right now. But didn't find himself atop. Still lots to play for from our last athletes coming out now onto the mats from this League 1 round. We have Thomas Knapp, on the left, drawing men's number 1. And Daria Nestorenko on the right. Thomas nearly stopping on this first hold. It would be fantastic to see, but not sure if it is possible.
Surely has to make the next move way harder. If you can stop on that.
Daria now comfortably through the zone. We've got a lot of flashes on this boulder, so it will be quite important to flash to maintain her place. And there we go, Daria Nestorenko setting up for the last move. Static, it's still far. Little pop and she has it.
Making it look easy again.
Great job there from Daria. And Thomas now not making this first move. We've seen such a mixed show on this first move.
Absolutely. It looks like there's definitely like a few options of how to do it. I think the trick is finding the way that works for you.
But so far we haven't seen Thomas try to carry on through to the next hole. Let's see if he will. Not finding the purchase even to then pull up to the next hole, the zone.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe jumping like a little bit intensely, a little bit more power that he has to pull back against, potentially. We're just not finding the right position.
Thomas Knapp sticks the first swing. How impressive is that?
Makes
You
it work.
said it.
That is
didn't
the
believe
strong
it.
method.
That is definitely the strong method. Now, we have not seen a top. Thomas looking strained, but he's clearly very strong. Finding the right foot.
Finds it.
And makes a match on the top. Thomas Knapp, the only athlete on this male League One final tonight to find a top on men's boulder number 1, and that will put him clearly in the lead.
The route set is high-fiving at the front, running around the corner.
That is what you want to see. Finally, it's done.
The dream result.
There we go. So much power through the shoulder while making sure those hips are staying way into that corner. Very, very difficult move, even though it might not look like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So much tension that you're having to push through all of the limbs of your body there to make that work. And so much trust in that foot.
There we go. Great show from Thomas Knapp. That is the replay from him. And now we have a couple of advertisements from our wonderful sponsors tonight.
Länger, weiter, schneller? Dann brauchst du mich.
Immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
In den Bergen geht es nicht darum, was wir erleben. Es geht darum, mit wem wir es erleben. Auf die Brüder, wahre Freundinnen, Töchter und Mütter. Auf die, die vorangehen, deren Taten größer als ihre Worte sind. Auf euch. Danke, dass ihr immer da seid.
We didn't need big budgets, big gyms, a big crowd, big news to become a big sport.
Final of the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga, the first league final, and I am here with a man who knows these boulders a bit. It's Ralf from the YouTube channel Grundkurs Bouldern. Hi.
Hi.
For your YouTube channel you did a video, it's somehow called A Normal Guy Tries the Final Boulders of the Boulder Bundesliga, and the normal guy, that is you.
It's me and a friend, yeah, and a female friend. Yeah. We tried the boulders.
So you were here when the route setters were working on these boulders. You tried them. Did you do men's 1 or women 2 that we just saw?
No. Unfortunately, we had a little accident on men's 1, so we couldn't film anymore. But yeah, we did women's 1 almost. But it's pretty physical. Yeah.
So what is your learning about competition boulders after you've tried these ones?
It's interesting. It's fun. You wouldn't believe it, but those boulders are really good. They're really good. Most of the positions aren't that physical, so I think most people who are a little bit fitter could do it, but getting from one position to the next one, that's the hard part. It's like you have to commit to it, and that's interesting.
Is there a favorite boulder that you're looking forward to seeing now?
Most of them were really good, and maybe the women too, because we were not sure how this would work.
Okay. So we are excited because we're going to see it now. Yes. Now women's 2 and men's 2. And Ralf, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Have fun.
And here we are, another great interview from our woman on the mats, Juliana. And as they talked about, these boulders are not easy to do whatsoever. Women's number 2, we've been told, is particularly hard. So it'll be very exciting to see. And on the left of your screen there, we've got the scores up again. The women's, we've got a lot of flashes on boulder number 1, which means boulder number 2 is going to be even more important in deciding the scoring of tonight. And on the left, only one top. Very strong split in the men's scores on boulder number 1, as only one top. Thomas Nab, the first place qualifier of this League 1 finals tonight, was able to find himself with both hands on that top hold. Came pretty close with Philip, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Really almost had it there. And Kai too, actually. But just couldn't quite find the right position to match the hand up there and get into the stable position.
We were just saying, such an intense and difficult move, even though it didn't look like it. And now 2 new boulders for us to look at. On the left, Tobias Weber, and on the right, Mia Scheller, making their first attempt on these boulders tonight.
2 boulders in a very different style, I would say. The men's boulder with a very technical series of small, precise movements, lots of moves in fact. So probably a boulder taking quite a bit of time to execute. And the women's boulder with maybe a little bit more of a straightforward sequence, but certainly very powerful.
Very powerful, and I believe quite dramatic. You can see as it gets close to the top, things thin out. There's not a lot of holds before that very top hold.
No, not at all. Those crimps are definitely very small.
And Tobias Weber sticks this move dynamically, doing this step through, swinging right to the end, but just about managing to hold. He's gone through the first crux. The zone is still ahead of him on the right as he leans in. And there we go, getting into this Gaston. That is the zone hold. Something to note, there's a lot of feet going on here. We do believe there is a reason the route setters have put so many volumes around as the feet. Whether or not Tobias needs to use them, let's find out.
Sticking that with a heel hook.
The heel just held him on, and there he is through the zone onto the final move of this boulder. Big press up to the top hold. How can he do? There we go. A flash from Tobias Weber. That was incredibly impressive.
Especially that last move. You have to push off that dual text on the top and fully commit into the corner there.
Excuse me, it was not a flash. It was his fourth attempt. I got a bit overexcited, but if you watch the replay on that, pretty much every crux he just about fell through. It was very cool to see.
I love the heel hook. Like, no right foot, just the heel hook. I wasn't even sure if he planned that or if that just fell in place somehow.
Really, really impressive. So, we've only got one athlete we need to watch right now. That is Mia Schella on women's number 2. Potentially one of the hardest boulders in the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga in the female category.
Yeah, definitely a tricky first move. Not necessarily the most complex, but requiring a lot of strength.
What good flow, catching that right hand and just happily falling into the left. Now, another crux, reaching up for the sloper, and the toe pops. That's not what Mia Schella wanted in that move. She's got 45 seconds left. She'll pull on for another go, certainly. Looking at the hands.
Official checking the skin there, I think.
Do we have the skin for this?
Is there blood yet?
There we go. Great repetition. Look at that. Taking a second for popping into that left-hand zone. And the right toe pops again.
The hand just sliding off that hold there.
Not what Mia Schella wanted, and with 15 seconds left, she decides against another attempt. She has the zone in her pocket. So there is that, at least that first crux. Not an easy one.
Definitely important to get the zone on this one, with it being particularly difficult. Potentially not going to get as many tops, so zones will be important on that one. And particularly as she didn't top the first boulder, so getting the zone, adding to her points.
And now our next athletes out. On the left, we have Filip Nonachev from Bulgaria. And we saw a heartbreaker on the first boulder as he touched the top hold with 2 hands for a second. Was not in control, however, and it does not seem that he has been awarded that top. Clearly a very strong athlete, though. Let's see what will he make of this second boulder.
Yeah, that was a shame. But looking good on this first move. Not sticking it yet, but coming closer. Definitely knows what to do. Trying to get that toe hook on the left side to hold him in place.
Nice wee dynamic toe hook, but as we saw, previous athlete Tobias Weber did not choose to do this, and neither does Filip Nonachev. A wild right toe, way out there. Nobody expected it, but it brought him up to that next hold. Now he has the zone, so quite quickly he's making it through. We saw Tobias get to the end. Clearly not an easy route. How will Filip manage through these next moves? Holds it powerfully through that middle crux, and now one more move to the top. Clearly not easy. Tries it once, reverses, and again Filip pressing up, and there we go. Manages to get that top. What a great composure there. Tries once, comes back, let's go again.
Yeah, keeping it all together there with the second attempt. Great save from him. And such a good route read on the first beta break there. I wonder if the competitors thought about this during the viewing period and discussed it, since now 2 of them have tried this and made it work.
Yep, really cool to see. Obviously, Filip did try the intended beta the first time, but then, yeah, maybe he did think about the other options while on the mats. There we go, we see that lurch to the top. Really interesting to see. Both feet are off, and it's a big press with the left arm to get all the way right into that top hold. Yasmin now 1 minute and 30 seconds left to try this boulder. Has not got the zone yet. It is a difficult crux, but she does find it now. There we go. Yasmin is through. Very high heel up into this sloper. This is where Mia Scheller's foot pop. What method is Yasmin going to choose? Deep left heel lock, matching the sloper. Now coming across left if she can, trying to find just the right position. She has a minute left still, getting up into that crimp with the left hand. 2 more holds before she's at the top. Rocking right over the heel to the right hand crimp, and now 1 more move to the top, but it's not a small move. Yasmin Schroeder, she is into the wall. Is she going to match the crimp? Where is she going to go?
Oh, she's really trying to. And back she goes.
Back to the left, rest a second. Such an intense position. 20 seconds left. She does not want to have to do this all again.
It is a really good hole at the top though. Super in cut.
Yasmin shaking her head. Can she get across? What does she want to do? And off she comes. Yasmin Schroeder.
Sitting on the mats in defeat after that. She was up there for a while.
Such a good fight. In that moment when she knew, shaking her head. This is not a giveaway, this boulder, whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a really bunched move up there. You really can't, it's completely unforgiving. You really can't get out of that position unless you fully commit to that last move. Definitely gonna test the mental game out there for the end of that boulder.
Testing the mental game. So, now the next round has started. We have our next athletes out. On the right we have Olivia Kistmacher, 12 years old. This athlete on the mats trying our League One finals. And on the left, Frederik Schaefer, trying to figure out a method through the first part of this men's number 2 boulder.
Yeah, Frederik also trying a different method on the first move. At least not the method that the root set is intended. That being the toe hook on the left side. And almost making it stick. This time with the intended beta.
It looks like Olivia Kistmacher has made it through the first crux. But this is where Yasmin also made it through. Got up, Olivia just about reeling that crimp in. Now she's got 2 crimps and only 1 move left to get to the top. Yasmin Schroeder did not choose to go through this section. What will Olivia Kistmacher decide to do? Wanted to go dynamically, and then I think
she
thought
slipped.
about it for a bit.
I think she tried to, and then I think it was a foot slip potentially.
Is the last move right at the top. There is high risk when you're going dynamically there.
Absolutely. That is a big jump back. And what you can't really see is the angle of that wall. Or you can now anyway. So you're definitely jumping backwards, which adds a little bit of extra spice to the move.
And here we can see Frederik Schaefer now setting up again. Was changing the feet around there, but going back to the toe hook method, just not quite finding it on that attempt.
He looked really good on his attempt where he jumped to the right. So
Look
if he tries
how
it again.
easy that was for Olivia Kistmacher. Now, she's got time. She has a minute and a half.
Oh, hand sliding.
There we go. Gets the grip. That was a fight in itself. She's been up here once before. Didn't make the move work. What she's going to do this time.
Oh,
Going
fully
dynamically. I was on the edge of my seat right there. And as the camera pans away, we can see that she has landed okay. She is okay. She's 12 years old, but she's okay.
Bouncy. Bouncy bones. She can heal fast.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. But on the left, there we go. That's the descent.
So fast, the camera can't even keep up.
And Olivia Kistmacher has 40 seconds to do this all again, but hold on to the top this time. There we go. We saw a big fight getting up to this crimp. How's she going to make it? She's gonna make it again. Finds the crimp. All right, crimps look like that was a swing. That was close, but here we go. And another foot pop. Olivia Kirstmacher. Such a fantastic effort there. So close to getting a top on women's boulder number 2, but not quite. And well done as well to Frederick Schäfer. Right, next athletes.
Let's go.
I need a break after that. The last move is so intense.
That is crazy, and she was so close. Had the hand in there, just didn't quite get the other hand in. That is full commitment from the 12-year-old.
So here we have Kai für dich on the left. Now, every athlete that's made it through this first crux has broken the beta. Is Kai an athlete that likes to break the beta?
I would say yes.
All right, you heard it here first. Kai is going to break the beta. We're all looking forward. In the meantime, on the right, Charlotte Schäfer already through the crux, matching the slofer. She's going up for the crimp, getting that crimp. Look as she reels it in, very open hand, but looking comfortable. Now she is set and ready. One move left. She got up here pretty easily. How is she going to manage this top move? Charlotte Schäfer leaning in, slipping on the right foot. Hand round the top, but doesn't quite stick it. This last move, absolute heartbreaker.
Yeah, this is a scary move. I do not envy those women at all.
There we go, hand in.
Replay.
Down, you can see that right toe right the way under. So hard to rock over it. Kai, though, you called it right. He broke the beta.
And statically.
He told the route setters that he doesn't care what they think. He's doing it his own way.
Yeah. Bringing his own little route setting flair into it, perhaps. Coming up with some alternative beta.
Here we are in the next crux. Oh! Kai thrown off there, trying to stop the momentum rightwards as he slaps into this pocket on the right.
Yeah, it looked like he was miming maybe to do the hand swap. So maybe he was going to try that on the next attempt, to flip the left hand around after he goes. And potentially.
Next attempt, in the meantime, Charlotte Schäfer now doesn't make that first move work. Got through the first crux so fast on the first time, but we do see it often. It's not always a given to be able to do such hard moves every attempt.
Absolutely not. Oh, just slips off again with the right hand. Maybe a little bit too much swing. It's hard to tell.
Certainly not a problem with the brushing.
No.
Brushers are there and ready.
Expert brushes. Best in the world.
Best in the world here at the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga. Now let's see, how did the brushing do? It did rightly.
It was all the brushing.
And that is Charlotte Schäfer now through the first crux. Happily getting into these crimps. Look at that, using the hips to lean into the wall. But here we go, big crux now. One move to the top. Charlotte Schäfer, where's she gonna go? Holds the top for a second, but on the ground again. 55 seconds left. She's gonna need to do a lot to get herself together to try that again.
That is going to be hard to get back up there again and commit all of that energy once more into the attempt.
In the meantime, Kai now getting a good right foot out already. A different selection of beta. Can he slap into this pocket? And he sticks it. There we go. Kai Furdik, one move left. Big hard throw up to the top.
Come on, Kai.
Take a sec,
Trying
compose.
to shake out. Oh!
Doesn't stick it. Slipping from the left hand, slapping the thighs there. You can see, looking at the clock, he does not have enough time to do this again. And unfortunately, neither does Charlotte Schäfer.
Yeah, heartbreaker finishes in these two boulders.
That is it exactly. So, some disappointed athletes coming off the mats. And now we are into our second last athletes on the second boulder tonight.
Yeah, the wild card athletes out now.
Just a coincidence that they qualified in this in the
I
same
know.
position.
Do you think they planned it?
They might have planned it. They were, hey, everyone, look at us. All right. Helena Wolf eyeing up women's number 2. And Jan doing the same on men's. Helena already through the first crux. Barely even noticed it. But as we've learnt, it's the second crux, the final move, that is really putting our athletes off. Jan happily through the zone. We've seen a lot of falls in this section as well. Jan, though, saves it. Also, like Kai, popping out of the left hand now, setting up for the final move. It's a big one, but he's a big guy, and he gets up there.
Yeah, no problem for him on that move. Cranking into the right shoulder. Amazing flash from him.
That is a really, really good effort. We didn't get to see how he did the first part, but it clearly didn't seem that hard for him. There we go, bringing that left foot up. And the release of the tension here as he hangs right back, but so confident on the one arm.
An easy match there to get the top at the end.
And now, as Jan waves to the crowd and comes down, Helene figures out a different method, putting in this deep left heel, but the right hand still pops. Slopers are not our friends tonight.
Oh no, absolutely not. Not in the heat. That's also a really scary one to try and commit to the sloper there, especially when you've got the heel stuck in that little crack there.
It's a scary heel.
The scary heel. You do not want to pop off that.
The pop is not the word you want to be using in these situations.
No, absolutely not. But you got to commit to it. If you want to get the next hold, you got to commit. You got to trust it.
Commit and just hope that popping is not something people say about when they talk about it later on.
Absolutely not.
Again, so easy through this first crux. Helena Wolf now changing to a toe. Toe slips and she's straight off the wall. Not ideal. The previous female athletes have all been getting up to this final move by this stage, whereas Helena struggling on the middle crux of women's boulder number 2.
Yeah, definitely looking a little bit frustrated that she hasn't unlocked that yet. Just not quite finding the right position for her foot yet.
But yes, let's get the crowd involved. We've got 1 minute and 15 seconds left. There is plenty of time. Casual through the first move, and then back to the heel hook beta here, taking some time.
Yeah, maybe not quite getting the hand high enough there, high enough to the left or high enough into that sloper. And on the edge there where she's holding it, it's definitely a little bit more flat. If she can just get it a little bit deeper, it might get a little bit more surface area, a little bit more friction, maybe a little bit more positive.
A little bit more positive, lots of little things, but they do add up in the end. They get Helena atop. Realistically, with just over 30 seconds left, this will be her last good attempt at this boulder.
Making that first move look like a piece of cake.
Really easy. There we go. Bump from the right hand.
Yeah, getting the hand higher now.
Another bump. Oh. Can't get the left foot up. Just falling out of the wall. Not sticking the sloper at this boulder. Not for Helena. But even with all that, she is still in first place. Because even though the previous athletes got higher, they did not get the top. And so no more points were awarded.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit lucky there for her, potentially. Let's see what our last athlete, Daria, can do.
Here we have Daria Nesterenko ready for the final boulder, and we all have our eyes peeled. This boulder has not been topped yet. It has been a heartbreaker last move, and we really want to see it done. On the left, Thomas Nab. He did the same in the last round. The only man to top the previous boulder. Both our athletes are off.
Slapping super high there and really stable with the heel hook.
Daria is looking quite comfortable through the start, but one more move. Very high right foot, rocking over. She's gonna go. Doesn't stick the top hold, and big fall to the ground. Hopefully she's doing okay. She is on her feet, thinking about what to do next time, but great attempt on that first run straight to the top. Not too much energy wasted. Thomas now, another athlete, thinking outside the intended box of this boulder.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to find a beta that's going to work for him. As we know, there's definitely a few options, and most of the competitors have unlocked it by moving to the right. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, we did not get to see Jan do this move, but everyone else found something else. Looks like Thomas is also trying different methods. I really want to see that wild foot from Philip again, just all the way out right.
Yeah, all the way to that little arrow-shaped one. That was awesome. Definitely got to have a bit of flexibility to get there.
And Daria on the right, looking like she's getting some tape on, potentially some blood. Thomas, though, makes it through the first crux. We've seen lots of falls still after this, but this is our strongest qualifier of tonight. Keep an eye out. Let's see if he can make it through to the last hold. Another crux here. Can't get the feet out right, though.
Trying to commit to that hand swap that time, I think, which is not what Kai and Jan did, but is in fact the intended beta.
Daria.
So reading it well.
Nestorenko now back at the last move of this boulder, getting ready for it. And there we go. Daria Nestorenko finds a top. I think she grabbed that top hold maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, definitely bounced it a couple times to try and commit. I thought she was going to fall off about 3 times.
There we go. Another fall, another swing.
And back.
And then another grab. Oh my God. What a show from Daria Nestorenko. That was absolutely insane. Just going for it completely and finding herself the only athlete able to top women's boulder number 2.
So much commitment from her. That was absolutely incredible.
So
commitment
incredible.
3 times.
3-4 times. She's so far off the ground and refusing to think about whether a fall's going to happen. So impressive.
Got to switch the brain off somehow and just go. Great work from her.
Let's calm down a sec, because Thomas Nab has work to do, but he can't do it too fast. He's got to go slow through this section. Standing on the dual techs. There's that little chip on the left. There we go. Slap to the pocket. The foot pops.
Running back. Looks like he wants to give it one last attempt, but he's going to have to be really quick this time. Don't know if there's enough time, really.
And now it is not looking hopeful. Quick run back to the chalk, but looking at the clock on the way and realizing Thomas Nab is not going to have a top on that boulder, and that does shake up the results now, as 3 athletes on the male team were able to find a top on men's boulder number 2. So here we go, looking at the scores on the left. Daria Nestorenko qualifying in first and comfortably in first place in this finals round. And Jan Hoyer, having qualified in second place, has leapt ahead of Thomas Nab. Philip Donachev as well. So, let's take a quick ad break and we'll be right back.
Wir wissen im Leistungssport, dass das Leben neben der Haupttätigkeit sehr, sehr wichtig ist und sehr viel Einfluss auch auf die Haupttätigkeit nimmt. Als ich mein Abitur abgelegt habe, war ich ganz klar in einer Phase, wo ich gesagt habe, ich muss hier weg, die Welt sehen, ich muss eventuell auswandern, ganz verrückte Ideen. Heute weiß ich, dass ich ein totaler Homecoming-Mensch bin und ich würde definitiv nicht mehr auf die Idee kommen, woanders wirklich leben zu wollen. mich definiert sich der Begriff Heimat dadurch, dass ich in Jena geboren wurde, der Sportler wurde, der ich heute bin. Ich habe hier meine Familie und ein sehr gesetteltes Umfeld. Und Lebensqualität ist für mich ein sehr wichtiger Punkt, einer, der mich auch immer wieder in Jena gehalten hat und auch hält. Und ich sehe Entwicklung in Jena und das gefällt mir sehr, sehr gut, was ich da sehe.
He's in there.
Should be safe to go back in now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just doing our job, madam. Just doing our job.
And we are back tonight at the League One final of this Techniker Boulder Bundesliga final. That was a quick break. Adverts from our sponsors, who we are entirely grateful for making this massive event happen. And there we go. Scores on the screen. Quite an exciting round tonight.
Absolutely. It's pretty interesting on the women's side. It seems like they've mostly kept their order from coming into the final, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on the last boulder.
Daria Nestorenko, notably the only athlete at the top, which means that this is going to have to be something dramatic happening on boulder number 3 if someone wants to get ahead of her.
Absolutely. But anything is possible.
Anything is possible. We do see it often. And now, on the left, men's number 3, Tobias Weber, is getting ready to pull on. And that is our female athlete on the right, Mia Scheller, making the first jump of women's boulder number 3.
Yeah, Tobias already up to the zone here. Trying to figure out the right hand sequence to unlock this sequence.
There we go. He's on a very poor sloper right now. You can see him going so slowly so as to try not to upset the balance, but was not able there, and off the ground Tobias Weber goes. Mia Scheller now setting up for her next attempt on women's boulder number 3. There we go, another interesting swing through. We did see her figure this similar swing out on women's boulder number 2 previously, so let's see if she can do it on the 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely within her toolbox, but it's a tricky swing, a little bit more complex than the women's number 2.
And multiple body parts involved. Gotta get both hands and then swing the feet and make sure they hit the correct points. But men's number 3 just as intricate here. You can see this campus match as you have to swing to the left and then make a big pull up to quite a precise hold.
Yeah, definitely a really tricky one to stick there. It's a little bit blocked, and the hold is definitely not good on the men's boulder.
So we inspected the boulders before this competition started. Here we go, Tobias making another go, getting his hand in there. Something that the viewers may like to know is that that hold that Tobias is dynamically campusing up towards is actually Dualtex. He's putting his hand into this slot, and the surface that he is grabbing does not have texture. This is really something cruel that the route setters have set. It is completely impossible to see from below. You can only feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. I'd love to know if the competitors picked it up during the observation period. Definitely a tricky one to see before grabbing it.
And we can see Mia Schella going for a different beta in this first move. Rather than trying to jump her feet to the volume on the right, she's trying to stop on that first toe hook. And it looks like she's killing a lot of the momentum, so it could work out for her. But with just over 30 seconds left, both of these athletes need to think of something if they want to get through and find a top on these boulders. That is not much time left for Tobias. He's already found his own, but he's going to go on for one last attempt. Mia Schell, a big swing there, getting a lot closer.
Almost making it work and trying to jump on for one more attempt. And feet first for Tobias, but not quite unlocking it in the last seconds.
Fortunately not, but he did already get himself a zone. And Tobias Beba does have at least some scoring on this boulder, and he got it on his second attempt, which put him in good stead. Now our next two athletes out. Jasmin Schroeder, right there in front of us. Munich-based climber. He's gonna see what she can make of this dynamic movement on women's boulder number 3.
Doing the little dance before she jumps on.
Oh, he's got to dance it out. Here we go. Jasmin, ready to go.
Just misses the foot plant there.
Doesn't find that. And Philip now going also for the feet first beta that we saw Tobias try quickly on his last go.
Yeah, definitely a possibility to make that work, particularly given how bad that hold is that they're going for in the slot. Might be easier with the feet first, who knows.
And there, Jasmin getting a little bit further every time. That foot is now reaching the right volume. Cheer from the crowd as Filip Donachev makes it through the first section. But we already saw Tobias come off here. Filip now powerfully going up through these volumes. Already past the zone, set up for the top. There we go. That is a top for Filip Donachev. And having already topped the boulder before, he is doing very well, potentially in a first place position now.
A lot of support for some friends in the crowd. Looks like they're really committing last move there.
That is a fantastic effort from Filip Donachev. See him trying this feet first beta first and then mixed it up, tried something different and found himself at top quite quickly.
Yeah, 2 tops for him. He's going to be hard to beat now. It's definitely on.
Love to see that wave to the crowd through the sparkles. Quite dramatic.
Some good pictures for sure.
Jasmin now trying to learn this boulder bit by bit. Route setters often call this a learn boulder, one that's extremely hard to do in the first try, but you get a bit further and a bit further every time.
Yeah, hopefully working it into her muscle memory a little bit, so that each attempt you just have to think a little bit less and the muscles do the work for you. But it looks like she's going with the right hand to the big jug and hasn't quite unlocked anything with the hold on the left side.
And there will be a reason that that big lower foothold is there. So Olivia Kistmacher.
An amazing unlocking of the first move here that we just missed. She managed to keep the hand on to that first hold and just stop the momentum by getting the tip of her toe onto the foot stomp. It was enough to stop the momentum, and then she could move off statically.
And here we have Frederik Schäfer setting up for the final move of men's number 3. There he has it. That is a top for Frederik Schäfer. Look at that, casually going through Olivia Kirschmacher, but as we have just seen, the last move is no giveaway whatsoever. Deep rock on the left, slapping into that press. That is an intense move. I don't think it has a name in climbing. Now, we've just seen a fall here. How's Olivia going to do? Again! Another last, literally both hands on the top hole, and she's coming off.
Is that foot slipping? I think maybe. Maybe just not quite, yeah, just not pushing up quite enough, just the body falling backwards away from the wall.
Those hips just coming out even the tiniest bit is going to have a catastrophic issue in terms of holding the tension on the wall. When you're in those high intensity shoulder moves, it's so hard to stand up in the right position and push in order to match the top hole with both hands. Olivia now, we're going to get a good look at how she does this first move.
Yeah, definitely really clever from her, finding a solution that works for her and her style without committing to the second hand. Just holding on to that first one, using her strength to her advantage.
There we go. Comfortably through the start. Very high left foot. Big palm slap. Dangerous. Stay away from that. And there we go. Into this final position again. Going for a drop knee foot. Very high risk and doesn't make it work. She has 40 seconds left. There is enough time, but not much for a rest. There we go. Shaking out. Going again. Olivia Kirschmacher. One last go. Maybe not. 30 seconds left. The composure is coming apart. This athlete trying to do this quickly, making it through here. Okay, getting set up for the last move. 15 seconds. She can do it, but she can't wait around. And not enough energy there. Fantastic, fantastic effort though from Olivia Kirschmacher, and she has herself in second place now. 3 more athletes to come out. The last 2 could not make anything of women's boulder number 3. So she is in a slightly better position there, but let's find out now as our next 2 athletes come out.
Yeah, not a lot of tops on the women's round this time, particularly on the second boulder, and the third boulder definitely proving to be also super hard for the top.
On the left, you can see Kai going for this crazy toe hook method. Doesn't quite stick. And on the right, Charlotte Schäfer having one go at women's number 3. Olivia Kirschmacher also didn't figure it out on her first go. Oh, still time.
Ooh, also opting for the same beta.
Very, very close there from Charlotte Schäfer. And Kai.
Crowd behind him.
Kai Fudik, local hero, has tried the feet first beta, trying something else.
Huge flick on the right-hand side for Charlotte, making it stick and unlocking the zone. What is she going to do? Is she going to do... Ooh, unlocking a heel, making that move look a lot easier.
Making that move look really good, but she does now need to bring her hips above the 2 points of contact she has with her hands. Very intense. But there it is. And here is where we saw Olivia Kirschmacher fall 3 times, and Charlotte Schäfer finds herself a top. That is the first top we've seen tonight on women's number 3.
Amazing climbing from her. Such a nice read of the sequence up into the mantle there, and getting really deep into the shoulder to get into a stable position for the final. You can see a replay here. pushing really high to get her shoulder right in there.
There we go. This is what we watched Olivia Kirsmacher fall on 3 times. Charlotte Schaefer falling down low, hips right the way in, and then bringing that other hand up. Great, great effort there from her, getting this done. That top move on her first attempt. So having done the boulder in 3 attempts, Charlotte Schaefer now sitting in first position. But Daria Nesterenko hot on her heels.
Absolutely. Definitely, there is no certainty in the placings for the women at this point.
That is our scores up on the left. Kai Födig will definitely appreciate getting a top on this boulder.
Yeah, no tops for Kai yet. Would be great to see him top this boulder.
He's got 30 seconds left, so this will be maybe the last serious attempt.
Come on, Kai!
And he sticks the move.
Amazing, so strong. Like no other points on the dual techs.
And a foot pop from Kai Födig, looking so strong, choosing a different beta from the athletes through that section with the zone, but so strong on those slopers. And there we see the crowd all up on their feet, supporting their good friend Kai Födig.
Yeah, standing ovation from the Plan B crew. Nice to see everybody out here supporting Kai.
And now, 2 more athletes left to climb tonight at this League 1 final of the Techniker Boulder Bundesliga. And this one on the screen in front of you, he is a very well-known name, Jan Hoyer, an Olympian, is now trying the 3rd and final boulder of this men's round. And on the right, Helena Wolf, trying women's number 3.
Almost sticking that without even using the foothold there for Helena.
Very close, and now let's see. And getting up, looking strong in that first move. Now let's see. We've seen a few athletes coming off in this section. You can see that left foot very high for him, very bunched. But he is pulling through, and there he is, up into the next section. One more pop. Have a look at the crowd. Yes, it's there. Easy job for Jan Hoyer.
A little bit of a cheeky look around to the crowd there before jumping to the top hold. Knew he could do it.
Knew he could do it, and having done it in 1 attempt, excuse me, I do believe Jan Hoyer has secured himself the win with that top. There we go. Maybe that's why he looked around at the crowd. He knew that he had the win in his hands. Big wave through the sparkles, all dramatic.
Almost perfect scores from him with 2 flashes and 1 zone also on the first attempt.
I do remember that first boulder. Absolute fight for him in that top corner. But let's turn our eyes now to Helena Wolf.
Almost unlocking the intended beta there from the root setters.
From the root setters, that triple move, jumping, swinging, putting the feet on, grabbing the right hold, and then catching a left toe hook. There's a lot going on.
Whoa!
And so this, here we have a bit of contention. This is something very unfortunate with the edge of the wall so close. Helena choosing the method to double catch on the right hand hold. She does swing round, she doesn't catch anything, but she theoretically swings past the end of the wall, the end of the field of play. And that is It will be very hard to stick without going out of bounds in this position. Helena Wolf, minute and 10 seconds left. Can she make this move work?
Yeah, it looks like she doesn't want to commit quite as much to that right hold now, knowing that she might get called off the wall if she makes a dab.
Yeah, but turning around, having a smile, remembering where she is, how far she's come. Helena Wolf now. One more go, 45 seconds left. That looks clean. There was a nod from the judge. She is up through there. Boulder's not done yet, but Helena Wolf now pushing up through. She's got the one hand on the top. Can she make it two? Here we go, leaning in. Yes, she holds it. That was very close for Helena Wolf. You could see that head starting to whip back, but she reels it in and matches the top hold.
Amazing work from her.
And with that now, there we go. Look
Just
at that.
grabs
Look
it
at that
with the thumb.
head. Grabbing with the thumb. Great job. And then rocking the head back and forth.
She knows it.
Maybe with happiness. Also definitely to prove she has control of the situation. Bit of drama there, swinging around the outside of the field of play, but trying again and making it work.
Yeah, definitely a tricky one there for the officials to have to make the right call at the right time.
And here we go, our two final athletes tonight on the final boulder tonight of the final league of tonight. This is Thomas Nab on the left and Daria Nestorenko on the right. Both being so strong. Thomas Nab flying through.
Just like statically campusing up to the next move. Crazy.
So strong. Look at that method. He was trying to cross under, almost wedging his fingers in that crack. Didn't look particularly comfortable, but
yeah,
so strong in this first move.
Definitely looked like a little bit of a finger jam in there to try and get a little bit more friction.
Daria now, you can see that left toe coming out. Thomas now crossing under. Looks like there's a jib for him to pull on. He's able to pull with it. There he is, set up, ready for the last move. And one more pop. There we go, a top for Thomas Nab.
Is it enough for second place though?
This is the question. We are waiting for our scores to be updated. Thomas Nab, he qualified in first place, so if it does come down to a draw, he will be given preference. But the scores have been updated and he has made third place, meaning Filip Donachev, qualifying in fifth place, has climbed up to second. That is a big win for the Bulgarian athlete.
Super strong climbing from him.
Wow, look at that.
Daria unlocking the sequence with the toe hook.
She catches the toe hook during the swing, but not foot. Also waiting the right foot. Really interesting beta. And now one hand on the top. We've seen some falls here, but Daria does stick it. Thought she lost it for a second, but she's got it. And that is the final climb of tonight with a big win there from Daria Nestorenko. She has topped all three boulders, a clear lead ahead of any of the other athletes tonight. People are up on their feet. Here we see both hands in, popping that left hand for a sec. That was risky, but she has it. No problem. Give that hold a slap. She's done.
Absolute domination from Daria, the Ukrainian athlete tonight. Huge performance from her.
Great big wave to the crowd. And that is it. So we have just finished our final boulder of the night. You can see the scores. Those are the final official scores. Daria Nestorenko first place, Charlotte Schäfer in second, and Helena Wolf in third. Jan Hoyer taking the win, men's side in first place. Filip Donachev from Bulgaria climbing up to second. Thomas Nab, our strongest qualifier, in third place. So, big scenes tonight. Let's have a quick break, check out some ads before we start handing out some awards.
Länger, weiter, schneller? Dann brauchst du mich.
Immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
In den Bergen geht es nicht darum, was wir erleben. Es geht darum, mit wem wir es erleben. Auf die Brüder, wahre Freundinnen, Töchter und Mütter. Auf die, die vorangehen, deren Taten größer als ihre Worte sind. Auf euch. Danke, dass ihr immer da seid.
Hold my hand, let me know. Can you understand my soul?
Seit 17 Jahren Deutschlands beste Krankenkasse. Und auch in Zukunft gilt, immer besser für dich, die Techniker.
We didn't need big budgets, big gyms, a big crowd, big news to become a big sport.
And welcome to Jan Hoyer and Daria Nestorenko, who won this competition, the first league of the Techniker Boulder Bundes Liga. Congratulations to you both, to Daria also. Jan, what does it mean to you? You just quit your competition career.
I'm really glad that I came away with first place today. After the first boulder didn't look too well. I haven't climbed too much in the past couple months, but since I qualified for the World Cups only 2-3 months ago, I was still in good shape back then and still benefited from the training I did this winter. And the boulders were well set. I was lucky that 2 tops were enough to win, and I'm happy with first place.
How did you like the crowd in Jena?
There's probably a better crowd than we've had at most of the World Cups or any nationals, so it was a really well-run event, except for the little delay we had in finals. Boulders were great, organization was great, and I think throughout the year they proved that they can host better comps than the DAB.
Okay, well, thank you for this really nice critique, and we hope to see you again in the next season. Thank you for being here. Daria, congratulations again for winning this competition. I mean, you've been to a few comps, you just became the vice champion also in Ukraine, so why is it interesting for you to be here taking part?
I don't know, I just like to compete in, and I like the crowd and the support, and it's so nice. So I just want to feel this again.
Yeah.
Between the World Cups, I want to compete a bit here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, crowd in Jena, Jan said it's a really cool crowd. What was your feeling?
Oh yeah, it was really cool. All people are supporting you, and it feels so nice. I like it.
Really cool. Where will we see you the next time? Are you going to be at a World Cup again?
Yeah, in 3 days in Innsbruck. I will compete in there.
Okay, so good luck there, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
that is the final piece of action that we get to see tonight. I have been your host, Danaan Markey, joined by the brilliant Emma Norrington. So, you can have one more look at the scores. Again, really exciting to see such a dominating performance from both Daria and Jan Hoyer as they do some fantastic climbing. It's happening out on the mats there, and shortly we will be giving out the awards for these final athletes. But for now, me and Emma will be signing off. It's been great to have you join us in this International Techniker Boulder Bundesliga finals.
It was an absolute pleasure. Really, really fun comp to watch, to be a part of.
Some super cool stuff. So, thank you very much for having us, and goodbye.
Tschüss.
So, sehr verehrtes Publikum, nochmal hier zurück auf die Bühne. Wir machen die Siegerehrung der Techniker Boulder Bundesliga 22-23. Wir fangen bei den Damen an. Auf den 6. Platz gewesen im Finale hier Mia Schiller. Da kommt sie angerannt. Ja, Schiller! Jawohl! Starke Leistung von der 17-Jährigen. Neben die Mia stellen wir die Jasmin Schröder. Jetzt kommt die Jüngste im Bunde, niemand anderes als Olivia Küstmacher. Jetzt geht's auf das Podium mit dem neuen Trainer, hat scheinbar gut geklappt. Auf dem Podium Platz Nummer 3, Helene Woll. Oh, was war das für eine Action im letzten Boulder? Wir erinnern uns. Zwei haben wir noch. Die nächste Dame hat im Vorfeld gesagt, sie fühlt sich fit und will unbedingt vor dem Publikum im Finale bouldern. Und das hat sie auch ziemlich gut gemacht. Charlotte Schiffer! Eine haben wir noch. Es ist schön, wie Bouldersport verbinden kann. Aus der Ukraine, nun lebt sie in Deutschland und zwar nicht freiwillig. Daria Nestorenko! Und das ist euer Applaus! Genau! Ah, seid ihr geil, Mann! Und weil es so schön ist, machen wir weiter bei den Herren. Auf Platz Nummer 6 aus dem Plan B aus Jena, Kai Fönisch! Neben den Kai stellen wir Gewinner vom letzten Jahr. Es kommt noch mehr. Neben den Kai stellen wir den Frederik Schäfer. Platz Nummer 4 geht an Tobias Weber. Mann, der bei den härtesten Zügen immer noch ein Grinsen im Gesicht hatte. Sehr sympathisch. Und jetzt geht's rauf auf das Podium mit Platz Nummer 3. Der geht an niemand anderes als Thomas Knoll. Letztes Jahr Dritter, dieses Jahr Dritter, damit kann man leben. Starke Leistung vom Thomas. Zwei haben wir noch auf Platz Nummer 2. Philipp Donsche. Der sympathische Routenschrauber vom Studioblock Mannheim. So, wir wissen jetzt schon alles, wer ihn stehen wir ganz nach oben. Derjenige, der hier eigentlich gar keine Wettkämpfe mehr klettern wollte und jetzt doch ganz oben auf Platz Nummer 1 steht. Jon Hoyer! Und das ist euer Applaus! So, jetzt nochmal alle rauf hier auf die Bühne, die Jungs und Mädels nochmal nebeneinander gestellt. Ja, bleibt nochmal oben, Jan, wir wollen euch nochmal alle sehen, nochmal ein frenetischen Applaus für die Jungs und Mädels, die heute alles gegeben haben. Ja, wenn das passt, dann oh, jawohl. Vielen Dank, liebe Techniker Boulder Bundesliga, liebe Jungs und Mädels, die das alles ermöglicht haben, liebe Athleten und Athletinnen und ihr so geiles, sehr verehrtes Publikum, ihr wart super! Was für ein Fest! So, halbe Stunde noch hier Party und dann geht's in die Rose. Wurde mir gerade eben gesagt. So, machen wir das. Wir feiern hier noch ein bisschen. Und dann geht's in die Rose. Dort gibt's die Aftershow-Party zur Veranstaltung. Ich danke euch, Leute. Vielen Dank. Es hat mega Spaß gemacht. Mit so einem geilen Publikum, mit so einer geilen Veranstaltung. Macht's gut. Guten Heimweg. Und eine Sache noch. Legt bitte die Sitzsäcke, die hier irgendwo rumliegen, unter das Technikerzelt. Also wer auf einem Sitzsack gesessen hat, der nimmt ihn bitte kurz in die Hand und legt ihn zum Technikerstand. Vielen Dank. Tschüss und bis bald.